Rochester just ranked number 2 nationally as one of the most competitive housing market in America. Homes are selling for an average of 11% over the asking price with the multiple offers, and some hot properties are going for even 25% above list in just 8 days. In fact, only 913 homes were available in the entire Rochester metro this year, and buyers are making 30, 40, 50 offers without any success. Now, my name is Khem and I have been helping families navigate the Rochester real estate market for 7 years. And today, I'm breaking down exactly why Rochester became one of the national hottest market where the buyers are getting crushed the most and actually struggling that working to win in a brutal competition. So whether you are a frustrated buyers or a sellers wondering if now is your moment, this could be a difference between the landing your dream homes or watching another family movie. First of all, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Rochester has a housing shortage at the critical level. And here is something most people doesn't realize. This isn't just the Rochester problem, but Rochester version is particularly severe. Let me start with the Q1 2025 to show you how this all began. In the first quartile of 2025, the Monroe County was closed sales around 4.5% to just 1,018 transactions, while the median home sales price surged 10.8% to 235 year over year. But here is what really tells you the story. Homes were selling in the median price is just 7 days, and the average homes are selling for 112.7% of the initial listed price. That means the buyers are paying nearly 13% over the list price on average, and that's what just the beginning. In the January 2025 alone, 64.4% of the homes sold above the list price, with the average homes going for about 8% over asking. Homes were receiving around average of 7 offers each, and the median home price hit $155,000, a staggering 19.2% increase compared to the January of 2024. Now let's talk about the Q2, because that's when things get it even crazier. By May 2025, the median home price sold in Rochester reached $221,000, up by 8.7% from May of 2024. By June, that climbed to $220,000, representing a 9.2% year-over-year increase. The price per square foot hit $151,000 in both May and June. Monroe County, especially by end year, Monroe County median home price reached to $280,000, a 10.7% increase compared to the same period in 2024. In Brighton, median home price hit $395,000, up 11% from 2024. And here is where the inventory crisis became the crystal clear. The Rochester real estate market had only 1,300 homes for sale in May of 2025, just hit 1.4% increase compared to the April. By the June, inventory actually dropped to 1,317 homes. To put that in perspective, Rochester only have 1.5 months of housing supply during quartile 2. A balanced market typically has a 6 months of the supply. Rochester was operating at 25% of that's considered normal. Then in Q3, the pattern continued. By mid-year through the Q3, home prices in Monroe County maintained that down from the 187 in the October 2025. Active listing remained in around 1,300 to 1,400 range throughout the Q3, especially unchanged from the Q2 level. In Monroe County especially, there were sitting at just 0.96 month of inventory. That's the lowest in the entire state of New York. Buffalo and Syracuse both have 1.5 months, and even the New York City Metro have 3.2 months. In Rochester, less than a month. Now, according to the Zillow's Heat Index from earlier this year, Rochester scored 146.5, one of the hottest market in entire United States. For context, anything above 70 indicates a strong seller's market. And we are at the 146.5. That's double what considered the hot. And while the Buffalo took the #1 spot, normally Rochester came in right behind at the #2, beating out San Francisco, New York City, Miami, and virtually every other major market. And here's the pattern I'm seeing with those listings throughout the all three quartiles. The moment a property hit the market, it is plotted with the showing. I mean, open house are seeing 30 to 40 people showed up. By end of the week, the sellers have 7 to 10 offers normally, and sometimes even more. And by the following week, sold, often for significantly over the asking price. In May 2025, homes had an average listing age of just 11 days, down 32.8% compared to May 2024. By June, that shrunk even further to 9 days, down 26.1% year over year. Through the Q3, by October, homes were selling in just 13 days according to the Redfin. Still one of the fastest selling market in the entire nation. But wait until you see what buyers are actually offering just to compete. The numbers are going to shock you, and I'm going to break that down just here in a few seconds. Now, if the home listed for just $250,000 in the desirable neighborhood like Brighton or the Pittsburgh, here is what typically happened. Tuesday or Wednesday, property hit the market. During the weekend, open house will draw 20 to 30 people, multiple showing a schedule. By Monday, offers due, sellers receive 7 or even more than 10 offers. By Tuesday, the property is pending, often 20 to 30,000 over the asking price. But here is the deal. By the time most buyers even see the property, schedule a showing, and think about making an offer, is already too late. The house is already pending or under contract with the multiple offers, with the back of offers in the place too. This really matters because the inventory shortage isn't getting better. It is actually getting worse. Don Seminati Jr., the president of the Greater Rochester Association of Realtors, stated clearly throughout the 2025, the housing shortage in our local Rochester market remains in a critical level. He warned that unless we create more middle market housing, this trend will continue to price people out of the homeownership entirely. And so for the buyer, understanding this inventory crisis, you need to act fast. There is no time to think about it or wait to see if something better came along. For seller, this environment means you have a stronger position and you have a better negotiation power. But only if you price and present your home correctly from the day one. And you know, this inventory pressure is creating the exact environment where bidding wars have become absolutely norm. And that's what I want to talk about next. Now let's talk about what actually happening with the offers throughout the 2025. And I'm going to be really honest with you. It is being brutal out there for the buyers all year long. Homes in Rochester have been receiving an average of 5 to 7 offers per property consistently throughout the Q1, Q2, and Q3. But in the hottest neighborhood, we're talking about 10, 15, even 18 plus offers in a single home. And here's the kicker. In Q2 2025, 87 of those homes sold over the asking price in May and 84% in June. Only 8 to 10% of the homes sold under asking price and just 4 to 5% homes at the asking price. And let me put this in a real time. If you made an offer on the list price in Rochester during 2025, you had almost no chance of winning it. You need to come it over asking price, significantly over asking, just to be considered as one of the winning offer. The average home has been selling for about 11% above the list price. But the hottest properties, the one in moving ready condition in a desirable neighborhood, even selling for 25% above the list price. Let me put that in a real number for you. If the home is listed for $300,000, the average sales price is $333,000. That's 11% over. Hot property will sell for $375,000. That's 25% over the list price. And that is $75,000 difference from the list price. And that's crazy, I know, right? And I have seen it goes even higher. Throughout the year, buyers have been offering 50, 70, even 100,000 over the asking price. Let me give you the real-world example for Q2 that perfectly captures this market. According to the GRAR president Dam Seminari Jr., there was a modern range in the East Iron Liquid listed for 169,000. And here's what happened. 87 showings were scheduled, 44 offers are submitted. Final price 270,000. That is 101% over the list price, 60% premium over the list. The winning offer? No inspection contingency with the cash guarantee. This wasn't an outlier. This was becoming a norm in a competitive neighborhood throughout the 2025. By the end of Q2, the GRAR median price data showing the region at 265, up nearly 8% from last year. Nationally, the uptick was just 1% during the same period according to the Redfin, showing just how much Rochester was outpricing the national trend. And here is what people don't understand about this bidding wars. It is not just about the price. Sellers are looking at the complete package. Let me break down that what actually winning offers right now. It has to be either cash or cash guarantee, equivalent to the strong cash offer, is the king. But if you are financing, you need a proof of a strong down payment, literally from 15 to 20% or more, and a local pre-approval letter. Out-of-state online lender pre-qualified, they are getting posted aside. Winning or limited contingency, buyers are waiving the inspection contingency, or they are doing pre-inspection before making an offer. They are waiving appraisal contingency or coming up with the appraisal gap coverage, meaning they will cover all the difference if the home doesn't even appraise for what they offer for. And the flexible closing timeline, want to close in 21 days, 45 days, whatever the sellers need, and flexible on the closing date which the buyers will pick will become the major differentiator. Escalation clauses and highest and best offer are very common. Many buyers are including escalation clause. We will pay 5,000 more than the highest and best offer for X amount. But the sellers are getting savvy and just calling out for highest and best offer upfront. Personal letters are controversial and some agents discourage it due to the fair housing concern. Some buyers are still writing a personal letter to the sellers explaining why they love this house. And in a market this emotional, it can sometimes tip the scale. And by now, throughout the 2025, we have successfully helped the family in winning a multiple offer situation by positioning their offer, getting creative with the terms, and knowing exactly what sellers value the most. And you are going to want to keep that in mind when we talk about the buyer's strategy coming up later, because knowing how to structure your offer in this market is absolutely critical. Now here is the thing, just 2 or 3 years ago, buyers had an options. They could negotiate, they can ask for the repairs, they can do the inspection, they could take their time. Now the sellers are calling out the shot, and buyers are doing everything just to get their offer considered. And this is the real strategy. I had a listing earlier this year, and it did sold with the 7 multiple offer situation. I even received an offer. Buyers were offering 5-day cruise to Bahamas for my client if we take their offer. Do we take it? No, because we did have another cash offer with no contingency and even higher on the price. So sometimes the extra bonus doesn't make sense if you have someone who is paying you more. So you have to be really careful when you reviewing the offer. Shiny object syndrome cannot be downplay the opportunity for monetize your homes and the equity that you build over time. Throughout Q3, Redfin's complete score for the Rochester remained extremely high, with the perform noting must home get multiple offers, often with the waiving contingency. The average homes are selling over 16% above list price and go pending in around 8 days. So this bidding intensity really matters because it is not just driving up the price. It is fundamentally changing what it means to buy a home in Rochester. And for buyers, understanding what it actually takes to win means you stop making weak offers that goes nowhere. Start crafting competitive package that sellers take seriously. But for sellers, this competitive market environment means you need to be prepared for the chaos. When you get 10 offers, how do you eliminate them? What trumps matter most to you? And this type of buyer's urgency is directly connecting to how fast the homes are moving, which is next pressure point we really need to talk about. Now, here is the stats that's making buyers absolutely panic all year long. Throughout the Q1, Q2, and Q3 of 2025, homes in Rochester have been selling at the breakneck speed. In Q1, the median was 7 days from the list to contract. In Q2, we saw the homes in May averaging 11 days, then dropping to 9 days by June. And here is what really remarkable. 94% of homes sold in May closed within the 30 days, and 95% of homes sold in June closed within the 30 days. By Q3, through October, home price selling in 13 days according to the Redfin. Now, some people might say, oh, it is slowing down, but let me put this in perspective. That's compared to the national average of the around 30 to 40 days in many markets. Rochester is still moving 2 to 3 times faster than the normal market. And here's why it's been happening all year. First, inventory is low, but the buyers can't afford to wait. If they see something they like, they have to act immediately or it will be gone. Second, the buyers know they're competing with other dozens of people, so there's no time to schedule a second showing or sleep on it. Third, sellers are setting an offer deadline, typically around 6 days or less, and calling for the highest and best offer to create urgency. And here's the pattern I'm seeing sellers use throughout the 2025, and it is working well. On Tuesday or Wednesday, listing strategy. Home hit the market on Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning. Agents schedule an open house for Saturday or Sunday. Private showing started booking throughout the weekend. Offer deadline set for Monday or Tuesday at noon. And offer review, call for the highest sub-based if they need it, and accept an offer by Tuesday evening under contract in 5 to 7 days. In Q1 and Q2 or 7 to 13 days by Q3. This strategy maximize exposure, create a competition, and move the property faster. But here is the challenge for the buyers. You literally cannot afford to miss the listing. If the property hit the market on Tuesday and you don't see until next week, it is too late, or you are not even in a game anymore. I'm working with the buyers who have a lot said up to notify them a second a property in their criteria hit the market. They are pre-approved, and as soon as we find the house that fell under their criteria, we will request the owners and the listing agent if we can do a pre-home inspection when possible, and already ready to write an offer within an hour. And that's what it takes right now. And really, for buyers, this speed means you have to be organized, decisive, and already ready to move in. No more casual browsing, no more let me think about for the few days. This is the sprint, not a marathon where you wanted to take a time. For seller, this timeline has been incredible news throughout the 2025, and you can list and be under contract within a week or two. But you need to be prepared for this insanity. Your homes need to be so ready. Your agents need to manage dozens of showing, and you need to evaluate multiple offers quickly and strategically. And this type of rapid pace is exactly what certain neighborhoods are seeing even more extreme competition than others. Which brings us to the geographic hot zones where the buyers are fighting the hardest battle. Not all the Rochester neighborhoods are created equal in this market. And let me break down where the buyers have been facing the most brutal competition throughout the 2025 and where the sellers are seeking for the strong result. Top tier battleground. Brighton, this has been a ground zero for the bidding wars all year long, within the medium home price hitting $395,000 by Q3, up 11% from 2024. Excellent school, established neighborhood, and proximity to the Rochester making it incredibly desirable. Homes here have been regularly selling for $30,000 to $50,000 over the asking price with 10 plus offers. Property are being snapped up to 7 days throughout the year. Let me talk about the Pittsburgh, the most expensive suburb with the highest medium home price in the area. Family prioritizing the top rated schools have been competing hard here all year. Properties are moving in under a week, often with the escalation clauses plus price well over the list price. Penfield is another that have a strong school, newer construction options, and family-friendly amenities. This is where many relocating family targeted first, creating insane competition throughout the Q1, Q2, and Q3. East Irondequoit and West Irondequoit are more affordable than the Brighton and Pittsburgh, but still seeing the significant buyer interest. Remember that example I gave earlier, that 169,000 homes in East Irondequoit got 87 showings and 44 offers and sold for 270,000. That's the reality in this area. Now let me talk about the mid-tier competitive but accessible. Webster, Solid School, Lakefront Axis, and more inventory than the top-tier suburb. It's still competitive with the multiple offers, but the buyers have slightly more breathing room. The 1456 zip code has been maintained. Consistency adds one of the hottest in the region throughout the 2025. Fairport, known as the Canal Side Charm and a good school district, make this popular, but a bit further away from the city, which gives buyers marginally more time to consider offer. Greece is a large suburb with the more diverse housing stocks. More options here mean less extreme competition, but desirable property still move faster. Urban core hotspot like a Park Avenue, the young professionals and the similar family loves the historic charm, walkable and restaurants and bar scenic. Condos and small homes are being moving incredible faster all year. The North Winton Village, Southwest, Upper Monroe, those walkable established neighborhoods are characters have drawn insane interest from both young professional and family throughout the 2025. 19 ward, more affordable entry points into the city living. First-time home buyers and the investor are being competing here and creating the multiple offer situation even at the low price point. The Charlotte Lakefront living a neighborhood feels limited inventory keeps competition high. And so this geographic difference really matters because where you looking directly impact your strategy. If you are targeting Brighton or Pittsburgh, you need to be prepared for the war. Maximum financing, waiving contingency over the asking price offer. If you are looking at Greece or some other outer suburb, you might have a bit more rooms to negotiate, or even get an offer accepted in just a little over the asking price. For seller, understanding your neighborhood specific dynamic help you on pricing strategy. If you are in a hot zone, you can price at or slightly over the market and still get multiple offers. If you are in a mid-tier market, accurate pricing is critical to capture the buyer's interest quickly. And this geographic competition is directly connecting to who can actually afford to buy in Rochester, which brings us to the affordability paradox that's making this market so unique. Here's what makes Rochester market so unique and so frustrating for the buyers. Rochester is one of the most affordable market in the entire country and one of the hardest place to actually buy your home. And let me explain. Rochester median home price throughout the 2025 has raised from 175 to 280,000 depending on which data source you are looking at, the which specific area. Monroe County hit 280,000 by mid-year, comparing to the national median price of 407,000, and Rochester is roughly 60% more affordable than the national average. For the buyers coming from a place like New York City, Boston, or even part of the Buffalo, Rochester feels incredibly cheap. A 300,000 homes in Rochester would cost them 600,000 or even more in those markets. But here's the paradox. Despite being affordable on paper, Rochester ranked as a number 2 most competitive market in entire America by JLO, right behind the Buffalo. Monroe County ranked 5th national out of the 116 counties for market competitiveness according to the National Association of Realtors. And the buyers been making 30, 40, even 50 offers without succeed throughout the 2025. Why this is happening? The reason number 1 is the migration and relocation. According to the data from throughout the 2025, 60 to 70% of the Rochester home buyers are searching to stay within the metro area. But 30 to 35% are looking to move in from others area, particularly from other parts of the New York State. When the buyers from New York City, Long Island, and Westchester see the Rochester price, they are willing to pay well over the asking price. Do you know why? Because it is still feel like a steal compared to where they are coming from. Data from the August through to October 2025 showed that among those moving to Rochester, most came from part of the New York State, followed by the Dallas and the Washington. And which comes to number 2, income versus the housing cost. The median household income in Monroe County is around $71,000. The income required to purchase a medium-priced home is about $87,000. That's a gap, but it is manageable compared to the many market where the gap is even $50,000 or more. This means more buyers qualified, which increase the competition, which lead to the number 3 reason, strong local economy. Rochester has a major employee like Paycheck, Wegmans, University of Rochester, Rochester Regional Health, and growing tech sector. Jobs are relatively stable and well paid, keeping demand high even as the interest rate remain eventually around 6.8 to 7% throughout the Q3. The number 4 reason is the value buyers effect. Buyers see Rochester as undervalued comparing to the national trend. Even they are overpaying by the local standard, they feel like they are getting a deal compared to the coastal market. This will drive the aggressive bidding. According to one of the analysts, Rochester saw the price up 31% over last 3 years, driven by the steep competition and affordable home price relative to the other market. And this affordability paradox really matters because it explains why Rochester market hasn't cooled down even with the higher interest rate nationally throughout the 2025. Buyers are still seeing the value, and that's keeping the competition worse. Jim, the CEO of GRAR, summarized the market impact throughout the year: reduced pathway to the home ownership, diminishing the economy mobility, and the market that challenges both the first-time home buyers and move-up buyers. For buyers, this means you can't assume affordability equals easy access. You need to compete as you are buying in the coastal market, even though the prices are much lower. For seller, this dynamics means you are in an incredible position, but you still need to present your home while price it correctly to capture the maximum value from this buyer pool. And understand this paradox is essential for the strategies we are about to cover, because whether you are buying, selling, knowing how to navigate this unique market makes all the difference. These are the strategies that has been working in Rochester throughout the 2025. For buyers, get hyper-organized before you start. Get a pre-approval with the local lender, not online pre-qualification. If you have an online pre-qualification, you either get that lender or you get a house. You cannot get the both. And have your down payment ready and verified, knowing your absolute maximum budget including over the asking capacity. Set up instant MLS alert so you see all new listing immediately. And consider pre-inspection if you are serious about buying a property. Hire an inspector to walk through during the showing. And yes, you will pay around $200 to $250, but you know exactly what you are getting into and can confidently waive the inspection contingency if needed. Don't do this in every property, just do on the ones that you are ready to write an offer. FYI, make sure your agent is getting a proper permission from the sellers and the listing agents before you take your inspector to the showing to inspect the property. Be ready to move in an hour, not a days. When a property hit the market, schedule a showing within 24 hours. Be prepared to write an offer same day you can see it. In Rochester right now, whoever's get there the first with the external offer often wins. And structure competitive offers at the or above the list price in the hottest area. Assume 10 to 15% over minimum. Minimize the contingency like inspection, appraisal, and financing. Offer appraisal gap cover if possible. This has been critical throughout the 2025. Be flexible on the closing timeline. Consider escalation clause with the clear gap. And you need to consider escalation clauses if necessary. Target the edge if you keep losing in Brighton and Pittsburgh. Expand to the Webster Fairport or Greece. You will face less competition and still good school and amenities. Be patient and persistent. I know it is not something you consider doing it, but buyers have been making 30-40 offers before winning throughout 2025. This is the reality, and do not give up. Each loss teaches you something what really sellers are looking into in this market. And if you are a seller, be ready to price right, not high. Even in the hardest market, overprice can backfire you. Look at the recent sold in your neighborhood, not list price, actual sold price, and price at or slightly below the home that is sold for the highest at your list price. If you started looking at a sold price and list your home for that price, you're gonna get cooked and the market gonna get backfired. So you have to make sure where other properties like yours are getting listed to achieve the same result. So the day one pricing make a significant difference of what you will get at the closing table. And this creates the urgency and can trigger the bidding wars. Throughout 2025, home price correctly have been receiving multiple offers within a day. And make your home so ready, fresh paint throughout. This is non-negotiable. Deep cleaning everything, carpet, windows, and baseboard. Declutter your basement, improve curb appeal, landscape, power wash, and front door. Make sure all the lights are working and the homes feel bright. And make sure to follow this trend listing strategy. List Tuesday or Wednesday morning to capture the weekend traffic. Schedule an open house for Saturday or Sunday. Set an offer deadline for Monday or Tuesday. This strategy has been working incredibly throughout the Q1, Q2, and Q3 of 2025. This is helping creating a maximum competition and moving the home faster. And set a date when you want every buyer should submit, typically next week, Monday or Tuesday at noon. And the highest price isn't always the best offer. Look at the buyer financing strategy, contingency, fewer the better, and flexible closing. Honest money deposits size is also matter. And you need to know the overall risks of the deal falling through before you accept an offer. Throughout 2025, the deals that have held together best have been one of within the strongest buyer finance and minimal contingency. And if you caught up in a multiple offer situation, always call out for the highest and best offer by a specific deadline. Throughout 2025, this has been often pushed the buyers to reveal their true maximum offers and can increase your sales price significantly. And this strategy matters because Rochester market has been rewarding those who understand the rules and pushing those who don't throughout all the 2025. For buyers, being organized and aggressive is only way to win it. For sellers, presenting your house well and creating competition maximize your outcome. Throughout Q2 in May and June especially, we saw 94 to 95% of the home sales closing within the 30 days. That's how efficient this market has been when both sides knows what you are doing. But whether you're buying or selling, having an expert guidelines throughout this wild market really make all the difference. So let me bring this all together for you. Throughout the Q1, Q2, and Q3 of 2025, Rochester has maintained its positive as the number 2 most competitive housing market in America, right behind the Buffalo. We started Q1 with the home selling in 7 days for 13% over the asking price. By Q2, we saw 84 to 87% of those home sales over the list price with the inventory just about 1.5 months. And throughout the Q3, with the homes still selling in 13 days for the average 11% over the asking price, with the hot properties going 25% over in just 8 days. This market has reminded the competitiveness of the market. With inventory in the critical low levels, homes receiving 5 to 7 offers in average, and buyers making 30 to 40 offers before winning. And this has been both the most challenging market for the buyers and most opportunities market for the sellers that we're seeing in years. For buyers, the one who has been moving faster, competing smart, and staying persistent are the one getting the homes. For sellers, the one who have been pricing correctly have been seeing results they cannot even imagine just a few years ago. If you are serious about making a move in a Rochester market, and I mean, why wait? My teams and I are tracking this shift every single day, and we know exactly which neighborhood have the most competitions and which strategy are working right now to help the buyers to win and sellers to maximize their sales price. We have helped 120 of families buy sell in Rochester area, and we specialize in navigating exactly this type of competitive environment. So timing doesn't matter. And we can help you making the right moves no matter which side you are on. Throughout 2025, we have seen the firsthand that works and that doesn't work. We know which lenders selling trust, which neighborhoods are getting the most attraction, and how to structure the offer that actually win in this market. Feel free to reach out. All of the information is below or on the screen. My team and I would be very happy to help you to navigate Rochester market and achieve your real estate goals. And also check this video right here where I break down if the Rochester is for you and why you should consider or do not consider Rochester as your next home. I will see you in a next video.